All right, welcome back to another episode of the Black Bullion Show for goldandsilvertoday.com. Check that website out, everybody. Now, gold and silver have been moving in a tighter and tighter trading pattern that we'll talk more about this Saturday. And because of that, this decent, day in gold and silver has yielded, decent results. Now, the metals are benefiting from a lower 10-year yield, but also competing with a stronger dollar as volatility crept back into the system today. Tech stocks like Amazon and Google were struggling a bit as well. So let's see what we can surmise from today's economic news. But first, if you're new to this channel, please hit that big red subscribe button right down below. Also, please hit the like button. Helps to get this economic evangelism right on out there to the masses to bring more people into precious metals. So we have the 10-year here. Now, for the past 5 trading days, it has generally been trending down, and we had a couple of strong days of volatility that has likely shaken traders to become a little bit more risk off in recent days. Now, this is something that gold and silver benefit from pretty well. And as they stay somewhat range bound within the last few days, they've benefited pretty decently today. Now, I will say that I am a little bit concerned by some things that I'm seeing on the horizon, but again, I'll go more into that on Saturday. But at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today, that was a great point for gold and silver to begin. To find, or it was a great point for that gold and silver basically began to find direction to the upside as we got a slew of economic data around that time. Now, first things first, we're going to go over the weekly jobless claims. Now, initial unemployment claims spiked back up again, close to 900,000 this time, which is pretty crazy. And as you can see here, hiring has fallen recently for white-collar positions in software development and finance. So that's big. So let's see exactly what's going on here. I'm just going to scroll up here. 7 months into the issue and on the verge of winter, the labor market is on thin ice, said Anne Elizabeth Conkle, economist at Indeed.com hiring services company. Holiday hiring is sluggish, and many businesses need to make significant changes to ride out the colder months. Additionally, any potential economic boost from a stimulus package continues to be out of reach. A growing number of business leaders, executives, and policymakers are stressing the urgent need for additional stimulus to keep the economy from sinking even further into recession and to provide support for the 20 million people who have lost their jobs since the issue hit. Here's an example. Walmart CEO Doug McMillon called on Congress Thursday to help families and businesses, telling CNBC in an interview, for both sides, I think what they need to keep in mind is that there are Americans that need them, that don't really care about politics, aren't really tied up in this election, and they just need some help. And, that is a really good point. There are people who just don't care about politics. They just are looking for help. But yeah, in recent weeks, as far as the unemployment is concerned, we may have thought that we were finally beginning to trend down in unemployment. But this was just a huge jump in the opposite direction. So that was pretty crazy. Let's go and look at some of the local city manufacturing news. So we got some news from the Empire State Index and also the Philly Fed Index. New York City performed worse than Philadelphia from these two indices here. Let's see what else we got. We also got the import price index. Started rising today in September to 0.3%. Apparently, it's one of the weakest gains recently within the index. So that could actually signal some steam being kicked out of imported inflation that we've been getting. Now, this is more of a tell on the global economy than the US economy right now. So that's just a heads up for us here in the United States. And of course, can't forget the DXY here. Now, because we had some volatility re-entering the market, the DXY began to rise on top of that. Now, it seems like us gold and silver stackers can't have one without the other in recent days. It's either we be happy with low 10-year yields or low DXY. But recently, it's like we can't have both at the same time for whatever reason. And likely that's keeping us in this range-bound scenario that we found ourselves in. Now, again, I'll go over why I think what we're seeing right now in gold and silver prices might spell some tough times ahead for the metals, but tough times could also be other people's opportunities, such as mine. I've been talking about how I want to go into getting some more silver, so I think that may be coming up soon. Again, I'll go over that on Saturday, so definitely subscribe and keep an eye out for that. But thanks again, guys, for watching. It's Black Bullion for goldandsilvertoday.com.